Hello humans, welcome back. My name is the ArtistWithAfro, and I'm here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. So, rhyming aside, this is a follow-up to the Fortune Lady Nordic deck that I presented about a week ago, and I want to kind of just do an update on it. This is probably the fastest format that I've been able to create, and while I do have most of these cards on me in real life, a lot of these cards are coming out in the new set Rising Rampage, which is set to release in about a month in July 26th in North America. So I'm just going to go over all of the cards, or rather all of the new cards, and then we're going to go into the extra deck and the side deck. So let's get started. So we're running 2 Servaltovs of the Nordic Alfar, 2 Fortune Lady Darks. We're running 3 Alvis of the Nordic Alfar. We're running 1 Necroface as opposed to 2. We have Vanitas at 1. She remained there. We have 1 Fortune Lady Water. Now we're running 2 Ash Blossoms, and anyone that knows me knows that I hate hand traps with with a passion, but it is the current meta, and it does make the game kind of fair. So you know what, we'll side it in. And we'll add it into the game. I will admit Ash Blossom has helped me out in a few duels, so I'm not going to sort of kill it too much. But if you are making this deck, I do encourage getting the common ones. We're running 1 Fortune Lady Fire, again mainly for her burn and destruction effect, 3 Diverg of the Nordic Alfar, 3 Fortune Lady Lights. We're adding 1 Fortune Lady Past, and of course we have Eater of Millions. Now the new cards that we did add to this list, again, were the Ash Blossoms and the Fortune Lady Past. I actually ended up taking out 1 copy each of Fortune Lady Dark and Svartalf of the Nordic Alfar. Past, in and of herself, is kind of here or there. She does add to the level 1 monsters that we do have, making us kind of have 8 in total, with the 6 including the Alfars and the Fortune Lady Lights, and the other one of course being Eater of Millions. But Past is kind of just there to set up for any of our sinks. She is a tuner, as well as Vanitas, as well as Svartalf, but she's a level 1 and she can increase her level depending on the amount of spellcasters you have. So if you have her and you have, like, let's say water in your hand and it's kind of a dead draw, then you just banish her and then you make her a level 5 and you sync with anything with that. Eater of Millions I don't really need to describe. And then we're just going to really just move on into the spells. Now we're running 1 Raigeki. You know, everyone says what they want to say about Raigeki. It's been useful to me, so I'm not going to take it out. If you don't want to run it, that's up to you. Running 2 Fortune Lady Callings, again, anything to help us get out our water or our fire as soon as possible. Keep in mind though, when you do activate this card, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except synchros. So if you are going to use this, just make sure that you have kind of like your turn visualized in your mind in regards to what you are going to summon, or rather what you want to summon. We're running 2 Fortune's Futures. This is kind of our pot of greed. With all of the banishing that we're doing, this is pretty useful. 2 Terraformings, of course, limited at 2, might as well run it at 2. Gold Sark, just to set up again for janky plays. With the Necroface, it is a little less reliant now that we only have 1 Necroface. I do remember running it at 2, where it kind of came in hand, but we're running it at 1 for now, because it still can give us the cards that we need in about 2 turns. Monster Reborn, self-explanatory. 2 Twin Twisters, 2 future, or rather Fortune Visions. I keep mixing these 2 cards up, this card and the next card, because they have very similar artwork and very interesting, well, yeah, very similar artwork designs. And yeah, that's really just it. Like, I don't know why they wanted to make these 2 cards look exactly the same, but whatever. Anyway, Fortune Vision, of course, is your searcher for your Fortune Ladies. Future Vision is the card that you use to slow down the game, because why not? Now, moving on to the traps, we limited it down from 5 to 4 traps. So we're only running 4, and again, these cards might be taken out. I will also say that you might want to side in Secret Village of the Spellcasters just in case. But in regards to the 4 traps, I usually rotate these out depending on what I get. And I haven't really been getting that much play from Fortune Lady Rewind as much as I've wanted to, so I might be taking this card out. We're running 2 Royal Decrees because, again, it's always good to shut down folks. Moving on to the extra deck, we have 1 Odin, 1 Thor, 2 Lokis of course, 1 Colossal Fighter, might side him out, 2 level 7 Synchros, being Black Rose and Fortune Lady Every. We have 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, or rather Rail Cannon Super Dora, Of course, you have Gustav Max, which gives us that sweet burn damage whenever they kill any of our Nordic monsters. And we have one Slacker Magician. Now, of course, moving on into the links, Borolo Dragon, pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Saryuja, etc. You already know. We have 2 Golvegs, we're still keeping her at 2, and we have 1 Link Karibo. Now that's kind of it. These are the cards that I will say that are good. Again, we can side them out, but it really depends, mainly because some of these cards have been errated, and it's just like, why would you want to run any of the cards in the side deck? I actually might take out some of these, Bryonic mainly being the 1 card, for example. Now, in regards to the side deck, of course, Winged Dragon of Ross Sphere mode, because this deck does not run Kaijus, 2 DD Crows, 2 Effect Veilers, 1 Trishula Fusion, because you summon this by banishing the cards that you have, and it's always good to use that extra effect. We have 1 Odin, 1 Leo, 1 Bryonac, which again might be taken out, and 1 Daybreaker, who was in the extra deck, but I decided to remove him just because I haven't really been getting that much use out of him. I took him and Tempest Magician out of the main deck. Now, going on to the other traps. Now, again, as I mentioned before, we're mostly running all of this stuff at 2 or 4 at most. So, Infinite Transience, or rather, Infinite Impermanence, sorry. We keep that at 2, evenly matched at 2. And the last Royal Decree. Now, as I mentioned before, most of these cards did get errated, so we are going to be switching some of these out so far. But as it stands, this is kind of the fastest formula that I've been able to develop with the deck. Now, I might take out the traps in future. Like I mentioned before, Fortune Lady Rewind has been getting kind of less reliable in regards to summoning some of the cards. However, you notice that I also took out Burial from the Different Dimension. I'm no longer playing that card because there really isn't any point in putting the cards back in the graveyard. Although I might side that in, and I might add that into the into another deck build in the future. But we'll be testing stuff out around as we go on. So aside from that, this was just a quick video just to give you guys an update on the Fortune Lady Nordic deck. If you guys want to have more information, please watch the previous video as well as this one. We will be doing a deck unboxing. Sorry, not a deck unboxing. We'll be doing a unboxing of Rising Rampage when it does come out in July 26th. But aside from that, I have been the Artist with the Fro. That, my friends, is the show, and thank you all for watching.